I have devotional books at home, and I have devotional books in the office at work. And I'm Reverend Dale Brown, pastor at Community Church at Ocean Pines. The first thing I do, unless there's an emergency when I come into my office, is I read this 1 year book of Psalms, 365 inspirational readings for one of the best loved books of the Bible. It looks like this. I got it from Amazon. I think it is truly outstanding and fascinating. The devotional is as follows, and I need to give full credit because this did not originate with me, and I do again recommend this book for your consideration. When I was in college and seminary, I had to read and study philosophy. I was pretty good at understanding theology. I was not a good philosopher. And it says the young French philosopher Émile Calais had been disillusioned by World War I. He sat in the trenches as a soldier, and he realized that his philosophy of life, which focused on the here and the now and the present, on what he could see and touch, on a naturalistic approach, really wasn't working. He sought for a book, a way of thinking and living that would make sense out of his life. In fact, he commented in this fashion, a book that would understand me. Not finding such a book after a great search, he decided to put together his own book of wise sayings and good thoughts and things that would help him to be a person of good life and of good moral character. And after putting together that book, he found that it really didn't work either. His wife was a Christian. And even though Calais was one of the brightest men in France at the time, he had never really read the Bible. And so she gave Émile Calais a Bible. And because it came from his wife and because he was an honest seeker, he began to read. And he found in the Bible not simply a book of truth, but a book that read me. It was almost as if the book knew him, and he was amazed at what God's Word said to him and how it understood him and the human condition. He became a devout Christian. And this is his conclusion about the Bible, about reading the Bible, and about the Christian life. The only way that this book, the Bible, could read me was because its pages were animated by the presence of a living God. As we think about this reality, I encourage you, whether you have before or not, to read the Bible, to give an honest time to understanding its claims, because I believe that you will find there the presence of the living God. You may not like everything about it. I don't like the Old Testament places where it says, kill the people and kill the animals. But you will find there are a lot of things that you do like. You'll find there are some things that you don't understand, and there'll be some things that you do understand. The danger one person told me years ago was not what we don't understand, but what we do understand but fail to practice. As a pastor, my recommendation to you is to begin in the Gospel of Mark. In 2 weeks, you can read the entire life of Jesus. There are 16 chapters there. And in 2 weeks, you've read all the story of Jesus. And if you want to go on to Luke, I would save John for last. That's fine. I believe that if you begin with the Gospel of Mark, you will find a lot of truth, a lot of insight, and that you will fall in love with Jesus. And if you want to start in the Old Testament, I would start with the book of Psalms. Psalms has all kinds of human emotions, and they are not necessarily tied to historic events like a narrative, but they're more occasional. They are ones that arise out of situation and circumstance. And there's anger and love and kindness and meanness and all kinds of things in the Old Testament book of Psalms. But I really believe that if you start with Mark, You'll have a good beginning to understand who Jesus is, the message of the Bible, and like Calais, you will find that its pages are animated by a living God. May God bless your reading and hearing of the Bible.